Yo, YouTube, we back on NBA 2K13. Jeffery Simms, MyCAREER. For a few episodes or gameplays, they're not gonna have audio. I don't know why, but I will try to fix the audio today because I pre-record my videos because I'm starting school and work. So I just play the game and record them on my free time and edit it whenever I have time to. So for the past, I'd say from now to like game 7, there will be no audio, like no commentary, but by game 8 or 9 we should be able to fix it. But Jeffery Simms is starting his MyCAREER series today as the starting power forward, and our expectations for him today is to at least grab around 7 rebounds, get around 16 points with like 3 blocks. Just show the staff and show all the coaching staff and the GMs why they should pick him. And our draft projection, I'd say late lottery to mid lottery pick, because Jeffery Simms, he's a raw prospect. Honestly, he does have inconsistency issues, but his motor is never a question. So that's why I think he will go higher in the draft, is because his motor outworks his inconsistency. But look at the great block right there, and he's a good roller too. He adapted his play style to fit teams. Look at the 2-hand dunk. In this game, he was really just being a good teammate by setting his point guard screens, rolling to the basket hard, trying to crash the offensive glass, and doing anything in his will to help his team win. And they currently have an 11-point lead as they're heading into the second quarter. He's playing pretty solid. I would like to see a little bit more rebounds from him, but when you have 2 big men on the floor at the same time, and Jeffery Simms is a pretty versatile defender, so it will be on the perimeter more than in the paint. So his rebound opportunities are going to be limited at some points, but he will always try to crash the offensive glass. He might not be able to get the defensive rebounds all the time, but the offensive rebounds, he could get around 2 a game to show his hustle and tenacity, like I said in the other video. And yeah, he just brings overall energy. He's an energy type of guy. Even though he has the skill, he kind of has that role player mindset where he doesn't have to go out and drop 30 every game. As he's crashing the offensive glass. Like I told you guys, he has a long wingspan. He's 7'1". He has a high vertical. But as we're heading to halftime, Jeffery Simms has 6 points, 1 rebound, and 1 block, as his team is winning by 7 points. And his draft stock is going up. He's playing pretty solid. I believe he has a B grade. His scoring is a 4-star. His rebounding is a 2-star, which is unfortunate for a big man his size. But his overall grade is a 4. So we should be seeing him getting drafted a little bit higher. And in the second half, we're going to focus on a little bit more rebounding than the scoring aspect of the game, as we're playing good defense, as he missed a little short mid-range shot by the free throw line. And like I said, we're going to keep crashing that paint, because you got to remember, even though he's strong, he is a little bit on the thinner side, weighing at 225 pounds. So it will be a little bit harder for him to push people out the way, but he can bruise himself into the paint as he gets a nice easy dunk as he fill in that gap. That's one thing he does have, is a good paint presence on the offensive and defensive end as he's grabbing another rebound. And he's really efficient down low in the paint. That's one thing you can't knock on his game. He's not an inefficient person, but his jump shooting does need a little bit more work as he's grabbing another rebound. But back on his jump shooting, he does need a little bit of work on his jump shooting. He's a real inefficient jump shooter, but he's an excellent free throw shooter for his size. So I just believe that if he could get a nice mid range. You see, he's just eating down low. Honestly, like paint work isn't his downside. It's really just as we get another block, but his downside is really just his jump shooting. But if he gets to the free throw line, you say he gets to the free throw line 10 times, he could make around all 10, the minimum 7. But he's a really good free throw shooter, so that's one thing that balances it out. But if he's able to get a consistent mid range or shoot at least 35% from the 3, his game will expand exponentially. So that's one thing. That's one thing coaching staffs have been looking at Jeffery Simms for, because he has all the skills and he has the ball handling too, but it's the jump shooting that's kind of causing his draft stock to go down, because the league is switching into a power forward type of, like, the league is switching to a more of a stretch big type of era. There's still post players, but the post players are adapting into the 3-point ball, or at least having a very good mid-range game, for like LaMarcus Aldridge, for example. And Jeffery Simms still needs to adapt to that, because he relies on pure athleticism and his verticality to get him buckets, which isn't a bad thing. But man, when in doubt and you can't get into that paint, you're gonna need a little jumper. And right now, I'd say Jeffery Simms really needs to work on his jump shot once he gets to the league. Like, I'm not. Ooh, hold on. Okay, that's Bradley. Man, I ain't see Bill jump like that in a hot minute, bro. What the hell? But nah, it's like, so, like, it's just a mindset thing, because he's been dominating in the paint for so long that, like, look at the offensive glass. He should have finished that, but like I was saying, he goes after offensive rebounds a lot, and that's why coaches appreciate a type of player like him, and he's playing defense on the other end. He missed a shot, he got back up, he sprinted down the floor, he got back on defense. That's all you can ask for in a big man like him. But you also want more jump shooting, because that's just one of his limitations, where if you try to do a pick and pop with him, you can't really do it, because he could play drop coverage. And look at the passing lane still from Jeffery Simms, as he is showing his elite defensive instincts and just all around good player. And that's one thing I want to get on. Jeffery is he's a ball hawk, you know. He loves playing passing lanes. If he played, because he could play, honestly, if you had to ask me what position I believe Jeffery is the best at, I'd say it all just depends on the matchup. Because, like I said before, he dominates in the paint, and he's sort of like a big guard, because last video we talked about him. He was 6 foot in the 11th grade before he had a huge growth spurt. He was 6 foot, so of course he played the guard position. So he most definitely could play the guard position. But if you had to ask me, his top efficient positions are the small forward and the power forward. He's strong enough and big enough to play against small forwards, and he's fast enough and taller than most of the power forwards. So he could play those two positions right there, are his best positions. But you can also run him at the guard and at the center. But to maximize his potential, I'd most definitely tell these coaching staffs to put him at the 2, at the 3, or the 4. But we have a pre-draft interview with the Detroit Pistons, which isn't an ideal place where Jeffery Simms would want to go, because it's just like there's no real identity over there, and the winning culture isn't how it used to be in the early 2000s. So I believe Jeffery Simms would like a different team, but he's currently getting interviewed by people in the lottery. So Detroit, they do thrive on defense, and that's one thing Jeffery Simms loves. He literally loves defense more than offense. If you knew him personally, what makes him happy is knowing that he stopped you from getting yours while he got his. And he just takes pride night in and night out on the defensive end. And that's one thing Detroit does have in common with him, is they're both a defensive orientated team. And for that reason, I'd say Detroit is a fit, but it's also how they're running the front office. It seems like they don't have a clear path on what they want to do in the future and currently right now. So that's why I would say Detroit isn't the best fit for Jeffery Simms. But if you're talking about fit wise and just play style wise, then yes, Jeffery Simms and the Detroit Pistons will most definitely be a good fit. And the Toronto Raptors are the second interviewing of us. And Toronto, I don't believe Kyle Lowry's there yet, so it's like, because I know Brandon Knight is on the Detroit Pistons, so they have kind of like a two-man game going on. But him and DeRozan, I don't know. I don't think Toronto's a good fit, because I believe they have Valanciunas too, and that will kind of stunt the growth of Jeffery Simms. Even though the Detroit Pistons have Andre Drummond and Greg Monroe, I believe the Detroit Pistons know he's already better than them, and it just takes time. But I just don't know how he would fit with the Raptors, because the spacing isn't really there, because Valanciunas isn't shooting the ball just yet. So it's like, I don't know, the paint probably will be clogged up. Just a lot of clunkiness in our offense. And DeRozan isn't really a shooter. He's more of a mid-range shooter, but that's kind of clogging in the lane. So I don't see a good fit with Toronto either. So I would have to pass on Toronto if you had to ask Jeffery Simms. Because at the end of the day, it all depends on fit and how the team works with you. So Toronto is most definitely not a place where it would be a perfect match. And the Portland Trailblazers, this is actually a good destination, because they have Damian Lillard, they have a three-point shooting Myers Leonard, I believe they have Nicholas Batum, and those are elite shooters that could space the floor out. And Jeffery Simms could get his in the paint. So out of all the draft options, I'd say not the Detroit Pistons. Detroit Pistons is number 2 for sure. But the Portland Trailblazers is the best fit. They would have a tall front court, and they would have spacing in that front court from Myers Leonard and Nicholas Batum at the 3, which brings elite defense and shooting, while having a rookie Damian Lillard running the show at the point guard, just proving why he's him. So if you had to ask me, I would most definitely love to get drafted by Portland. I hope Portland picks Jeffery Simms with I believe the 7th pick. I really hope they pick us, because that would be an amazing destination for him, to let him flourish with all that young talent, and just the overall fit is immaculate for Jeffery Simms. But let's check where they're projecting us to go in the NBA 2012 draft. Let's see. They have us going 9th to the Detroit Pistons, and they have okay. I see you guys in the next video when we get drafted. Hope you guys like the video. Subscribe. We'll see you on the next. God bless.